In a previous video, I talked about phase one of being a fractional CMO and the types of things that I do, which is collecting login information, getting vendors in a meeting, getting them on the same page. I don't think I mentioned that one, but making sure everybody's actually pointing in the same direction, and also asking people, what do you think your goal is? What do you understand to be your targets and your constraints? Like, what types of budgets are you expecting to stay within for ad spend and maximum maximum CPMs, maximum cost per leads, whatever the metrics are, making sure that everybody's in agreement, including the client. And a lot of times nobody's actually even thought about it or talked about it. So the other thing that happens after that is optimizations. So, and this can be a little bit awkward because I usually almost always find major problems with the website, problem with the ads campaigns, things that are just inefficient. And I have to bring those up to the client. I bring them up to the vendor. I check with the client about how they feel about the vendor in general. If they're very unhappy with the vendor and they're sort of like, we were about ready to kick these guys to the curb anyway, then maybe I'm not going to be as gentle. I'm going to be like, hey, listen, this isn't really working. You have this much time to kind of get things right. But if the client says, no, I really like these guys, I think they just aren't directed right now, and we haven't been feeding them what they need. Okay, we want to preserve the relationship. You're still believing in them. We want to give them a chance. Then it's going to be sort of like, okay, so I'm here for accountability for you, the vendor, and I will provide you anything you need, direction, whatever it is. Where are you lacking? Are you lacking anything? But then meanwhile, this is what we need to see and what the client needs to see, because I'm part of the client at that point. And then that's when things like kick into gear, right? And again, I've talked about this before in a previous video. Once you shine the light on the rats, if they're rats, they scurry. If they're stand-up agencies and people, they'll be like, yeah, this is great, let's do it. This is what we've been waiting for. Because I've been the agency on the other side where the client was really hard to service because they just never gave you what you needed. Not enough budget, not enough content, whatever, right? And so whatever, that's what happens. So I get everybody pointing in the right direction, and then that's when the magic happens. I just had a client where they literally went from getting 2 or 3 leads a month. They said they got 3 leads in the month before I came on board. And the month after I came on board, once I sort of onboarded them and everything, they got 32 leads, like high quality leads. These are enterprise leads, by the way, not like local business leads. Some of them can be worth like $200,000 per sale, or even up to $500,000 on the high end. But in any case, like the average is less than that. But they were very happy, and it's a team effort. It's not just me, but it is me herding the cats, organizing everybody, and making sure that everybody's actually doing what they say they're supposed to do, knowing what they're supposed to do, doing what they're supposed to do, and we're all pointing in the same direction. And that's what I recommend, as I said, for any business. You have to have someone in charge. If you can afford $250,000 a year for a CMO, great. If you can't afford that, then hire a fractional CMO and pay him a fraction of that, but get it done. Because do not think that your agencies and your marketing campaigns are all going to just sort of magically run themselves and even if they do produce a positive ROI, they're not going to be efficient, and you're going to be leaving money on the table. If you want me to look at your business and do a free consult, just click the link in my bio. I'm happy to do it. And even if I just end up giving you advice.